the fourth prestigious King of the Ring, Stone Cold Steve Austin, an incredible victory.
The first thing I want to be done is to get that piece of crap out of my ring. Don't just get him out of the ring, get him out of the WWF. Because I've proved, son, without a shadow of a doubt, you ain't got what it takes anymore. You sit there and you thump your Bible and you say your prayers, and it didn't get you anywhere. Talk about your Psalms, talk about John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says, I just whipped your ass.
Come on, that's not necessary.
All he's got to do is go buy him a cheap bottle of Thunderbird and try to dig back some of that courage he had in his prime. As the King of the Ring, I'm serving notice to every one of the WWF superstars. I don't give a damn what they are. They're all on the list, and that's Stone Cold's list, and I'm fixing to start running through all of them. As far as this championship match is considered, son, I don't give a damn if it's Davey Boy Smith or Shawn Michaels. Steve Austin's time has come. And when I get the shot, you're looking at the next WWF champion, and that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Obviously anything but humble. The fourth prestigious King of the Ring, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another attitude-filled episode of Trip Around the Multiverse with your hosts, the nugget that won't seem to flush down the toilet, Carl Charles, and
the man who said it's not a black thing, it's not a white thing, it's a kicking your ass thing.
What?
You remember that one? You don't remember that one?
Is that DX?
Sorry?
Is that from is DX saying that, right?
No, it was when the Rock turned. When Rocky Maivia became the Rock, I believe. Oh no, actually no, I could be completely wrong, and I do believe it might have been the Acolytes, Bradshaw and Farouk, saying it to the Dudley Boys.
That would make sense.
Yeah, one of the two. I can't remember when the Rock turned to Rocky Maivia. What did he say?
I'm pretty sure he just said something about you booed me. You don't wish
But
I was
there
dead,
was,
something like that,
there was a bit more of a tinge to it because okay, first of all, let's preface this. We're going to speak about wrestling gimmicks of the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
Which was like what, 97-ish
I'll say late 96, 97
to 2001-ish.
Yeah, when the invasion ended, I think that's when Attitude
Yeah. So yeah, and this is when things got a bit
spicy.
Yes, very. That's one way of putting it. And so when Rocky Maivia joined, Rocky Maivia came in as what? White meat babyface, they called it, right?
Yeah.
Came in, pleading to the crowd to be the fan favorite and all that stuff, right? Unironically, of course, right?
Yeah.
They meant to cheer him, they boo him because he's so upbeat.
Yeah.
But then he has to pretend that he's still getting cheers, even though the crowd is completely booing him. So when he switches to The Rock and first joins the Nation,
Yeah.
he says something along the lines of, because the Nation is all, how do you put it without making it really, really, okay.
The Nation makes no sense, but I'll say why in a minute.
They're kind of a black supremacist group, but they aren't really, because they don't really reference that. They're just like a stable of guys who happen to be black, right?
At the same time, yeah.
But then they kind of go, because they wear like Muslim style stuff as well sometimes. I know it's really a weird one.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, and then The Rock obviously had to point out, he's joining the Nation because everyone booed him, right?
Yeah.
Not because he's black supremacist or whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of. That's why, But even, I'm not sure if you remember this particular thing, right?
Yeah.
Because, you tell me why the Nation don't make any sense first.
Right,
it is actually quite a spicy gimmick of a group.
Alright. The first incarnation of the Nation made no sense. Because you had Farouk, the militant black guy apparently. Then you had Crush, who was
Hawaiian
biker.
I don't know at the time. I don't know if he was Hawaiian biker.
Yeah, I can't remember because I know he makes DOA after that. But
Yeah.
anyway, and then you had Savio Vega, who's Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you had the white rappers with them, and they had their lawyer who's taking a mick at Johnny Crocker, and so I'm saying it made no sense.
Yeah, because it's just a bunch of people, right? And unless you're going to say they're a group, as in within a nation within themselves, then they are a nation of domination because they dominate. But you look at the people there, you're like, you ain't dominating nobody.
Yeah.
Right?
The only person there who's really a threat at any point was like Farouk, and then they kind of downplayed him afterwards. But yeah, you know.
So then the more memorable nation of domination, containing Mark Henry, the world's strongest man, right? That's his gimmick, really. Yeah.
Yep.
You know what? During this time, I don't think he was like that quiet threat.
Yeah.
That could do stuff, but wasn't really. He was the heavy, except that he couldn't do anything by himself.
No.
I mean, he could win, but he couldn't really get any titles or credibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was there to be a dominant threat. D'Lo Brown, who all I know about him is he shook his head a lot.
I think.
And trash talked. But
he was their mid card guy, but then also.
What's his gimmick?
He was. I think when he first came in, he was meant to be their lawyer or something like that.
Right.
It was something stupid. Again, I was like, this makes no sense.
Yeah, I never got his gimmick, by the way. But I knew that he was meant to be like the bad boy, kind of the group. It's like that guy who wants to be bad but kind of isn't.
Yeah.
But he's trying. He's trying hard to fit in.
There. Yeah.
But he's not as black as the rest of the group. I'm going to put it that way for the Nation of Domination, anyways.
Yeah.
So you had Kama Mustafa, the Supreme Fighting Machine.
Yeah.
Previously not known as what's his voodoo gimmick? I forgot. Papa Shango,
yeah.
And after this, known as the Godfather. But we'll just concentrate on Kama Mustafa for the time he's there.
Yeah.
The Supreme Fighting Machine. I'm like, when then the King Champion came, and you kind of,
they kind of killed his. Yeah.
I didn't get. So what's his gimmick as well? Was he meant to be? Whatever he was meant to be, he wasn't.
Canon,
let me put it that way. Yeah.
He was the fighter, I'm guessing.
Yeah, but I don't think he was. I don't think he just couldn't come across as anything special.
Yeah, he didn't.
No.
No.
Even when Ahmed Johnson joined this group, he was a powerhouse. Like, okay, it's good that, or as bad as you think Ahmed Johnson is. At least he had a presence there.
I forgot he joined the Nation.
Yeah, well, it was only temporary, but then I think they threw him out and put The Rock in it. And then The Rock was The Rock, so what can you say, about him?
God,
The Rock...
Sorry.
Rocky Maivia Unleashed was the best way to put it.
Oh,
but he was saying... Because I don't really think he had to give super white meat baby face so much that the crowd hated him and turned on him. And then he became The Rock, and then, and when you watch during this period, he's like not as rock as he is now. He's like to a rock to levels, I don't know, between a level 5 and 7, right? In loudness of character and personality, right? But at a certain point, when he gets the Intercontinental title, it just becomes, it's just more and more rock.
Oh, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
I forgot Ahmed Johnson was in the Nation. He was only for a month, but still. No, wait. Yeah. He was in it from June to August. Oh.
Yeah, Rock made me laugh, though, because this is when Austin was going to give up the... when he had the title, the Intercontinental title, right? And Rock was challenging, and then I think Austin says something about how, all right, he's going to give up the title, Rock. He's going to give up the title because there's a bigger fish to fry. And Vince McMahon says, if you do that, I'll fire you, or something along those lines. And then The Rock grabs the mic of Vince and goes, The Rock thinks you should fire him. And Vince says, you need to tone down, Rock.
I never remember.
I was like, all right.
I just remember The Rock throwing the Intercontinental. No, Stone Cold throwing the Intercontinental title in the river. I remember that.
Yeah. So he gave the title to The Rock then he stunned him and then ran off. Not ran off with the title, but you know how Austin Austin didn't run off with nothing until he turns heel, but basically just kind of strolls off with the belt and then I think throws it down the river the next night or something. Other notable Nation members being Owen Hart, the Black Heart.
It made sense.
Yeah, because he's quote unquote. I don't want to say he turned because basically enough is enough and it's time for a change.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, okay. Did he really need to call him the Black Heart? Well, I don't know exactly about that, but he did help give the.
I think when he joined the Nation, they dropped the Black Heart bit.
I thought when he joined the Nation, he was the Black Heart.
He became the Black Heart after the whole Montreal Screwjob bit, and he was like attacking DX a lot. That's when he was the Black Heart, and then
the way I remember it, though, you know, we could just be mixed up. Is that he joined the Nation because Farouk got kicked out, and they needed kind of another person with credibility in there, not necessarily a leader, but just a person with actual credibility. And Owen Hart joined, and then they dubbed him the Black Heart because in the black, it was like, well, when Rock took it over, they become less black supremacists. It just happened to be a group of people that were black, and they added Owen Hart there. And they're like, well, you know, he's not black, but he's a Black Heart. Oh, right, yeah, okay.
Black Heart. Yeah, no, he the Black Heart before he joined the Nation. Yeah,
right.
He was known as the Lone Heart and the Black Heart because he was alone.
What did you think of this? Okay, what did you think of the group in total? Like, was it? Oh, no. Okay, no. I asked you first. What did you think of the group in total? And then I'll go into something else that was during that time that I was meant to reference.
I like the group. I didn't like the first incarnation because I was young. I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
But then once the Rock joined and all that stuff, and he started feeding DX. Yeah, I enjoyed the Nation.
I don't think it was when Farouk was still the leader, it was all right because it wasn't so bad, right? As in, when I say bad, they kind of when Rock joined, it became more about helping the Rock being elevated.
Yeah.
So and Rock was entertaining as well.
Yeah.
But Farouk was there to make it serious also, you know.
Yeah.
And those two were the most credible members of the group.
Well, Rock and Farouk, yeah.
During this period as well, it was gang warfare. That's what they dubbed it, right? The Nation of Domination. You had Los Poporicos, whatever the Savvy Vegas group. Yeah. DOA, the Crushers biker group, and it all spawned off this, by the way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyways, Then you had the Hart Foundation.
That was before, but yeah.
No, as in but during this period.
Yeah.
And DX. And I think some other smaller groups, but they weren't really. Those were the key ones. So DX was feuding with the Hart Foundation. I think the Nation came out. No, the Nation were cutting a promo on something. I can't remember exactly what it was. They were going to have a match against some of the Hart members, probably for the tag titles. The Hearts came out to cut a promo back, and then DX was on the Titantron saying, "Oh, we heard the Hart family, the Hart Foundation chatting crap about you guys," and they even used the N-word. I'm like, wow, really?
Yeah.
Really?
It's like,
I mean, Shawn Michaels drugged off his head, whatever, but still, you know, there's and also, you know, when some people, like, even in movies where they say and do stuff and you're like, I don't know if that was necessary.
Yeah.
That's one of the instances I was like, wow, what you got? I mean, are you trying to draw a deliberate attention? Because if you are, some attention is not always good attention.
Yeah, especially that sort of attention. Even for the 90s, you shouldn't really be going there. It's a bit.
Yeah, so
low hanging fruit.
But then again, DX being a bunch of degenerates. Not justifying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it kind of. I get the pushing a button sort of thing because like they're degenerates, but you could have said something else like they were talking about your mum or something like, you know, something.
Oh, well, not necessarily about that, but you need to say they said the N word, you know.
Some
Could have been like, you know, they were better. They say they're better than you, and it's not because of their wrestling ability or something along that lines, you know.
Yeah,
not, you know.
Yeah, the N word bit's a bit like.
Yeah, it couldn't even legit said if they wanted the colour of your skin or something like that.
Yeah,
but it's just
something more less offensive.
yeah.
But still gets the
in your
same boat
face about
across. Yeah. Stupid. Oh, DOA, they were terrible.
Yeah, I mean, this is because see, the Attitude Era is one of those ones where a lot of things happen gimmick wise, but not that are not exactly great sometimes.
No.
But worth talking about.
Yeah.
In certain ways.
Yeah.
And some of them not worth talking about. We're going to bring them up anyways.
Yeah.
What did you think of Well, we're just going to jump all over the place.
Yeah, of course.
Noteworthy ones that I remember.
Yeah.
Our boy Val Venus.
Didn't get it then. Still got older. I was like, this is a pretty terrible gimmick.
So, all I'm saying is, when I'm watching, you know, they do the vinaigrettes for wrestlers when they're going to make an appearance. Yeah.
Yeah.
The camera is behind the square box TVs, the old school TVs. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's moving forward and past the edges of it. And you hear a voice saying, "Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm really good. Oh yeah, yeah." Like all that sort of stuff. And then you got dude with his like a blanket over his waist.
Yeah.
And one hand underneath the blanket, and he goes like, "Oh, hello." He's talking to the camera, right? Addressing the audience, but you know the camera, right? "Oh,
yeah.
I didn't see you there." Like, first of all, it's a big camera, and then are you just pretending? Even if you're saying the camera is the viewpoint to the audience, you're going to say you did not see these hundreds of people watching you, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then he says, you know, his spiel about, you know, where he's going to be coming to the WWF in various different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, right. Yeah. How far can this go as a gimmick, right?
Yeah.
But I thought Sean Morley was actually one of the better wrestlers during this time. Strangely enough. I was entertained by some of the stuff that Val Venus is doing, but it's just like you can only do so much during this time period with that gimmick. You only got to go so far, and some of the stuff is not funny because he's funny, but it's because it's ludicrous. It's like PP. Do you remember that?
Yeah. One of the most offensive things of it. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Yamaguchi-san.
Yeah.
So he had Val Venus slept with Mr. Yamaguchi's wife.
Yeah.
Mr. Yamaguchi looking like he's, I don't know, late 40s, early 50s or something like that at this point.
His wife is like in her 20s.
Yeah. Yep. And the Kaientai beat up Mr. Val Venus, and they chain him up, and then they
chop off his pee.
Apparently, the lights go out. They go to get the katana, samurai sword. But the lights go out or something like that.
It cuts the commercial. You're like, oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
And then they don't ever go back to it. Or you see him get wheeled off to hospital. You're like, oh, okay,
all right,
sure.
And then yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then it magically grew back.
Whether we got chopped or not, the lights went out, right? But you can't even justify. It's just like, right, so they were swinging a sword. So did he break out the chains again? Whatever, you know.
No, because I remember like the week later he came in. Like he milked it for like 2 weeks. Like he's got to get this surgery and stuff like that. And then there was some other dude in real life who got his penis cut off.
Yeah.
And they brought him onto like the WWE as well.
Oh, yeah.
And then you found out that he reattached it. His Val Venus's penis. He reattached it or something like that, and it's bigger and stronger than ever. I was like, what?
Yeah. Well, yeah, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
I felt probably at 12 at the time. I was like, this makes no sense. And I'm a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, okay. So this era wasn't aimed at.
No, it wasn't aimed for me whatsoever.
No. But I'd say it's definitely probably aimed at the older.
Yeah.
18 plus or something. Well, even 15 plus, right?
I'll say like 15 plus. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't think people fondly remember it, but there's some crazy stuff that was going on, and when you look back at it, you only remember it better maybe because you were a kid during that time and it was edgy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you look back at it now, it's like
This is stupid.
that's off key. But
Yeah.
you don't realize that. It's like when you watch a James Bond film, right?
Yeah.
And there's so many adult-orientated lines that you don't get when you're a kid. And then you're
No.
like, these films are PG.
Yeah, and you're like, oh well.
Yeah.
This hasn't aged well either, sort of thing. It's like,
Uh-huh.
This hasn't aged well either, yeah. Cool. Oh.
Yeah, and Val with his videos. Do you remember the titles of some of the videos?
No.
So when he was having an affair with Ken Shamrock's sister, I believe it was Ryan Shamrock.
Yeah.
Shaving Ryan's privates.
Oh yeah, that.
What was the other one? I can't remember, but that's them titles that they were using.
Yeah, I think the one for Mr. Yamaguchi's wife was something so like racially offensive. It made no sense. Things like something to do with like fortune cookies, like that.
Oh really?
Something like that. I was like, but this has nothing to do with being Japanese. That's a completely different. But sure, okay, naive.
Yeah.
Is so stupid.
What did you think of that Val Vegan's gimmick?
Yeah, didn't get as a kid. Looking back at it now, don't really enjoy it. Yeah, nah.
Okay, what about him as a wrestler?
Wrestler, he was alright. I just remember
I think he got a decent push, and I found him entertaining enough at it. Oh yeah, like I said, he was one of the guys that kind of pushed.
Yeah,
and he, obviously he was getting like Intercontinental title shots and stuff like that. So it's like, oh yeah, they're making him to be a somebody.
Yeah.
But now looking back at it, I'm like, he had a ceiling. He proper had a ceiling.
Yep.
That he was never going to be a world champion with that gimmick.
No.
Yeah.
And then they tried to change him to what was it, the Writers of Censor stuff and all other things. Still didn't really help the gimmick I was on it.
No, but he, at the time of the where he was, I think he fit in. Don't put it that way.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Go on.
Other good gimmicks. Actually, no, I'll leave my favourite gimmicks for later.
I don't want to say, some of them might not be good gimmicks, by the way.
Yeah, a lot of them.
But notable gimmicks. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Notable gimmick. Gangrel?
Okay.
His gimmick was amazing because it was stupid as well.
All right. Yeah. Go on. Give me the.
Yeah. How he's a vampire, I would say, but you see him during the day and stuff. He didn't have any like super strength or anything, so he couldn't be that much of a vampire.
No, exactly.
And he was only good, to be fair, though, when he was part of the Brood.
Yeah.
After that, it was like...
I can see why he got left over.
Yeah.
Out of Agent Christian were gonna. I mean, even at the time.
Yeah.
They were what, lower mid card or something, but
yeah.
Gangrel was definitely not going to be moving beyond them.
To be fair, I think he could have, but he wasn't that much of a good wrestler as like Edge and Christian. So I think that's what they kind of had over him. Like that gimmick could have went on for a while. Realistically, it could have been taken kind of seriously. Like, come on now, The Undertaker. He's basically a zombie or something, basically. But look how far that gimmick's gone. So a vampire could work realistically, but yeah, his sort of promo skills and stuff didn't really help him about it.
Yeah, I think Adrian Christian had a better look than him as well.
Yeah, they were younger.
Yeah. I don't think he was so bad, but he was kind of the leader of a group that he wasn't a leader of.
Yeah, that's the best way of putting it. Yeah.
because he comes out and he's like walking down the aisle and they're flanking him, right?
Yeah.
But you could tell who the guys were that were. And this is what Edge and Christian became the awesome Edge and Christian.
Yeah.
Even then, he's like, yeah, he didn't. Okay, if this group was a bunch of silent vampires, yeah, that's fine.
Well, it was meant to be at first.
Yeah. None of them had to speak and just had to look a bit like threatening-ish.
Yeah.
And he had to look down, like you said, right? But at some point, they're gonna have to speak, right?
Yeah.
Even if he's just using catchphrases or something like that.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna have to speak in the group, anyways. I mean, like even when you have the Wyatt family.
Yeah, exactly. But it was weird. Like, don't get me wrong, when he first came, I enjoyed Gangrel because like the bloodbath and stuff. Like, oh, this is awesome. Yeah. But then he wasn't Edge and he wasn't Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah. And time has shown who had a better career.
Yeah. That's why I think it's unfortunate for him. He just gets forgotten about them, even though he's like a key part of them, but not really.
Yeah.
As he's the key part of the Brood, but not really anything else after to do with Edge and Christian beyond that.
Yeah, which is quite sad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor guy. He did well.
Yeah, with the red viscous liquid, right?
Yeah.
No, they called it blood at that time.
Yeah, they called it blood because he's not the blood.
They could not say blood after a certain point in time, and and they can't call it the blood bath, even though it's a blood bath. It was the Brood bath. All right, okay.
Because I remember one of my favorite memories was a match with the Brood versus I think it was the Job Squad.
Yeah.
So that was Al Snow, Tuco Scorpio, and Bob Holly, I believe. It was like some 6-man tag, and it was insane. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Haven't watched it since, so it might be terrible. But I remember back then, I was like, oh yeah, the Broods are gonna be the next big thing in wrestling. Then they joined the Ministry, and I was like, that's cool.
Well, as minions, in the Ministry,
they were awesome.
Yeah, exactly, because they didn't need to do. They had all other people to do all the talking for them. And stuff
exactly. Yeah.
But then, obviously, once they were able to talk, then you realize, okay, but why were you guys silent?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they had to get to that point where they were comfortable, able to speak. I think Edge's gimmick, right? When he first came, what was his gimmick? All I know from the vinaigrettes, right?
Yeah.
That he sit down in the streets there, next to lampposts or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Rage out a little bit, right?
Yeah. Be up.
Grab a trap and throw him down the, on the floor, and run down the escalators into a train or something. I don't know. I don't know what he was.
Apparently, originally he was meant to be a mute.
Yeah.
And he was originally called Rage. And then they went with Edge. And I remember Edge talking about this, and he was like, I don't really actually know what that gimmick was meant to be. It's like, you got long hair, and you look cool. We can make you the silent brooding type. He's like, okay.
But I have to say, when he first when they built his appearance, though, I was intrigued.
Yeah, same.
And then the stuff he did worked.
Yeah.
According to the vinaigrette, because the character was consistent.
Oh yeah.
And then I think he lost a match. So Gangrel came out. And so Edge was having a match with Owen Hart. Gangrel came out, and then some other dude came out.
Yeah.
No, I think was Edge feuding with Gangrel at this point? I can't remember.
I think he was.
Oh yeah.
Or Gangrel was like alluding to he knows him and stuff like that. You're like, this is.
And then another dude shows up with long hair, like Edge-looking guy, and Edge just stares at a guy and gets pinned by Owen Hart.
Yeah.
Edge's brother. You know how they don't fill in the backstory for us, right? The commentators know all the story and is feeding it to us. Yeah. Because these guys don't cut promos.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's the best.
And nowadays, when you look back, and these guys can't stop cutting promos. They're so good,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Look at them, 2 Hall of Famers. Yeah.
I have to say, I wasn't a super fan of. Look, I liked Edge at this point, and I didn't like Christian so much. It just seemed like an Edge clone, right? But then when they started having more personalities.
Yeah. When they broke up from the Ministry and Gangrel, and they started doing the Edge and Christian 7 seconds poses and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I say I didn't like Christian much during this period because he wasn't. Edge just came in there and he would win. Christian
Yeah.
came there and he wouldn't win as much. I
No,
don't
he
know.
did because he was quite undefeated for a while. Because he
Oh, okay.
won his first match. He won the cruiserweight title.
Oh, I guess there's more of then. I guess there's more of, oh, you just cloned this other guy and expect me to. I don't know what it was. But obviously, I prefer Christian to Edge nowadays. A blasphemy in your words, right?
No, because I like them both. Like,
Okay.
I like Edge a lot more. I like Edge
Yeah.
more than Christian, but I'm a huge fan of both. You know,
Yeah.
I love the guys.
Yeah, but when their gimmick during this period of time, I don't know. Okay? Does it work for you during this time period?
Yeah, because it's basically the New Day.
No, as in the original Brood.
Oh yeah, it's House of Black, really, isn't it?
Okay. But
Yeah.
they would have to speak at some point, and I think none of them could cut a good promo at that point.
Yeah, true, but
But they
No,
didn't need
you're
to,
right.
right? They just
Nah.
come in there and threaten people. Not even necessarily threaten people. You could just have them just stare down people,
yeah, should be fine.
and just people like. Okay, so there was one promo. Eddie Guerrero was cutting a promo. No, Eddie Guerrero was in the locker room, right?
Mm.
And he basically cut a promo against himself because the other person didn't need to do anything, just stared at him, and
Yeah.
Eddie was talking, trying to justify himself, then he was trying to make excuses, and then he goes, "Are you trying to accuse me? What? You know, stuttering, being all guilty, and then he's like, fine, I'll show you."
Yeah.
It's like he did it all by himself the entire segment, with the other guy just looking at him.
He's once in a lifetime talent. That's what he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Other gimmicks from this weird period of time. Do you do you remember the oddities?
That I was actually, funny enough, I was going to bring that up as well. I was going to say of this time period of random like jabroni jobbers or stuff like that. Right? I remember the oddities, but I was like, their name is their gimmick. I guess they're just a bunch of guys who are kind of
and it's like, where could this actually? Where is there any long term for this
yeah.
faction? And obviously there isn't, because like, where do you go with these sort of?
So what I
things?
know, this group contained some dude called Giant Silver. Don't exactly know what it was. I just know he was tall.
Yeah, don't think actually was. I can't remember.
Kurgan,
Yeah,
who now is a movie star.
yeah,
right?
man.
But
He's
I
actually
don't know.
a decent wrestler as well. But,
Yeah, I don't know what his gimmick is either.
I think he was, because he was in a faction before this called like the Truth Commission, and he was there meant to be their big heavy, and they trying to go on like he had like a learning disability or something like that.
Right.
So I
Okay.
think that's why in this he was in the oddities, because he had a quote unquote learning disability. Yeah.
Yeah. Golga, who is actually Earthquake.
Yeah. John Tenter. Yeah.
Yeah. But he had a mask on.
Yeah.
A full-on mask.
Yeah.
Like a duct tape style mask. I don't know exactly.
It was weird.
Luna Vachon.
Yep.
And the only part of her gimmick. I mean, okay, so she looked a bit punk rockish.
Yeah. So that
And
made
that's
her
why
an
she's an
oddity.
oddity. Whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
The Drunken Dwarf? You remember that one? I don't think I saw him in the group.
No, I don't remember. I remember.
A Drunken Dwarf and some dude called Crackhead Bob.
No, I do remember them now. Yeah, they were from the Howard Stern show. Yeah, I remember them now. Yeah, terrible gimmick.
Yeah, it was like, okay, I don't know. I mean, and you're all meant to be heels, but
No, they're meant to be faces.
were they meant to be faces?
Yeah,
Okay, right. Well, in that case, that makes more sense.
because they came
So,
out with
so you're basically telling me to boo a bunch of guys who are. I don't want to say freak shows because that sounds bad, right? But that's basically your gimmick for them, right?
yeah, that's why they came
I
out.
mean, they just happen to be born that way, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then if they were heels, they're meant to be just boo them with no sympathy.
Different. Yeah, exactly. That's why I think probably only times back in the 90s where they read a room like, you know what, we can't actually have these guys being back, like being heels, because that's mean.
Yeah.
Let's have them as faces. Yeah, because I remember at one SummerSlam, they had like some match with someone and they was getting cheered and everything like that. Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. I don't remember much of these, but yeah.
Yeah, they didn't do much, obviously.
Yeah. But I do remember them. I just don't. They didn't do much for me, and you're like,
not
right?
anyone.
Their gimmick is basically them to exactly what they are.
Yeah.
It wasn't one of those where you're like, so let me tell you about the gimmick of the Undertaker, and then you go through all the iterations.
Yeah.
So these are guys that are just basically oddities, and that's exactly what they were called.
Yeah. And they're happy about it though. You're like, oh.
Yeah, they had a very boppy theme tune. I will say that.
Yeah, sung by the Insane Clown Posse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the like you said, they must have read the room and went, what? But when did this disband as well? How long were they together?
Not long. I don't think 6 months. If I'm honest.
Yeah.
Like, where'd you go with it?
Yeah, exactly.
What's the long time goal with this? There is one, none. So you know.
Okay, so let's circle back to okay, first of all, and it's bad for these guys at the time, right? They just happened to be there. The Kai and Tai,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Takamichi Noku, who was feuding with Yamaguchi-san, I believe, right? And then hold on. Yeah, and then he went to feud with Val Venus because Val Venus slept with Yamaguchi-san's wife, who was also Takamichi Noku's sister, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something stupid like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm like, right, so these guys are Japanese, right?
Yeah.
And you're just like, well, why don't we do what we do with the Nation of Domination, where we put all black people together? We put all these Japanese people together, like. Right.
I'll let you finish. I'll tell you more.
I was going to say also, but they were smaller men, like cruiserweights, yeah.
Yeah.
So like, how do you get any credibility? I want to say, because they don't treat the light heavyweight title with much respect either, right? Yeah. So you're like, I don't know about that exactly, you know. And they were just there sometimes for me, but. I think it's just when it started becoming more comedic.
Yeah.
With the really bad over the top dubbing, then you hammy stuff where they would say something very long, and then when they get dubbed, you just be like, no, or indeed, or something like that. Yeah.
I liked it when it got to that point, which sounds kind of bad, but I liked it when it got to that point.
Yeah. They got much more. Notable at that point because before they were just like a bunch of jobbers.
Because they come in kind of hot. Because if I remember correctly, and I could be slightly wrong, they came in. They had a brief feud with the Brood before the Brood became evil. Yeah. But Kai and Tai actually have been around way before the WWE.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were in like Michinoku Pro Wrestling and ECW and that. But I know what you mean. I liked the gimmick for a bit when they became funny. And that's pretty bad.
It's kind of unfair as well because they tried to present the Night Heavyweight title as the equivalent to WCW Cruiserweight title, which obviously they try to make it prestigious to compete with another organization's prestigious title. Except the thing is, WCW Cruiserweight title wasn't prestigious WCW either. They just happened to have a good bunch of guys wrestling for it who made it prestigious by the quality of their matches.
Yeah, you could tell backstage didn't give a crap about the Cruiserweight title. But the people involved did, so yeah.
So I can't say that I was a fan of Kai and Tai. I don't know, even if there were there. I don't know, even if the people involved in the gimmick, that if you made it a gangster Yakuza group, it would have had any credibility, and it still probably would have ended up going comedy because you just don't. These guys are better non-serious than actually serious.
Yeah, especially in that day and age, I don't think it would have worked. Yeah, you're right. I'm pretty sure they probably didn't know what Japanese people were back then. You know.
yeah. Apparently, If you talk, are you talking about what Vince
Yeah, the Gail Kim
said about
thing,
Gail
right?
Kim?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah,
we'll leave it at that.
Joke.
First of all, because she's not part of the Attitude Era, so we don't need to speak about her anyways, right? No. But yeah.
Sorry for the time. Other weird gimmicks.
All right.
How am I back? Jeff Jarrett's woman beater gimmick.
Oh, okay. Firstly, it never came across to me like he was a woman beater, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Jeff Jarrett went to at the point where the Attitude was starting, he was in WCW because he already jumped ship, right?
Yeah.
And then he jumped back.
Yeah.
Right? And then he lost a hair versus hair match to X-Pac at SummerSlam '98, I think, right?
Yeah.
And then he cut the hair short.
Yeah.
Now, the country singer gimmick did not work during this time period, right?
Yeah.
When you had people like beer drinkers like Stone Cold Steve Austin, and you had the, a Lord of Darkness, the Undertaker, and you had the Attitude Problems, Shawn Michaels, right?
Yeah.
And even Triple H, who was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, so Jarrett did need a refresh.
Yeah. Actually, when he cut his hair, I actually started to like Jarrett. But I'm a Jarrett fan in general, but we'll get that's a story for another time.
Jarrett with his group of minions called Southern Justice, right?
Yeah.
The Godwin. Were they the Godwins?
Yeah.
Okay. So you okay? And he had Deborah McMichael, who was quite intense too, right?
Yeah.
She was to create heat for him.
Yeah,
That's the best way to
basically.
put it, right?
Yeah.
And I know you say it's woman beater gimmick, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what it seems like. It's not actually that though, right? Not literally like his gimmick is he go grab them after he loses the match.
No. It's near the end of his WWE career.
The way that you make it sound, right? I'm gonna clarify. The way you make it sound is anytime anything happens, right? He just vent on Deborah McMichael.
No.
And he's like, he'll have an interview, close the door, and then you hear, shut up, woman, in the background and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, sorry, I like to clear that up. No, I didn't mean that.
No, but what it is, like, he became more aggressive, Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
And he just guitar everyone, right?
Yep, man, woman, or child, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, that's what I'm saying, inclusive. Yeah. And,
inclusive, yeah. Best way to put it, yeah.
When you said woman beater, I think you're referencing the end of his run during this time period against China, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, where they went the Good Housekeeping match.
Yeah.
Which I quite enjoyed, actually. I haven't watched it since, right?
No, you're right, but I remember enjoying it. Enjoying it.
He was saying to China, "You're a woman, you need to go in the kitchen," or the standard misogynist stuff.
Yeah.
And then they end up fighting each other with capes and stuff that are to do with the kitchen. Yeah. Right? And I think they thought, okay, let's jump Jarrett out and make him look bad or something like that. But it was like, actually, it wasn't a bad match for him to lose.
No, and like, realistically, in that day and age as well, that match could have been a lot worse. Like, sexist wise, you know what I mean? But the woman overcome and won, so it's like,
yeah. I mean, look, she's a beefy woman herself, man. So it's not as if it's she could handle herself in a fight against another man. Let me put it that way, right? Yeah. And not because she has fighting ability, but basically she's like
big enough,
tonks enough to handle it. Yeah. Whether you're gonna say her wrestling ability was good or not, she was over.
Yeah.
The crowd loved her at that time. And when she got the title and come down, I was like, okay, all right, I accept this.
Same. I accept it.
Yeah. And Jeff Jarrett did deserve it deserved to lose for all the crap he was giving her.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, if you think he didn't deserve to lose, then there's something wrong with you, sort of thing. Like, oh, maybe you hate women.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Jeff Jarrett at that time. Yeah.
Yeah, but speaking of China. Let's go to the other. So okay, DX including Shawn Michaels and Triple H and Rick Rude. And China this time. China not saying anything, and Rick Rude just being their insurance policy because he couldn't wrestle.
Yeah.
Yeah, this incarnation of DX was too much for me. I didn't like it so much because they were just too obnoxious.
Yeah.
They're trying too hard to push the envelope, and you're like, first of all, okay, right. I assume you know how like when they play characters, except Shawn Michaels actually is this character.
Yeah, at that point, yeah, he was that character. Yeah.
But then that's how bad it is. It's so obnoxious that its actual self leaking through the character is hateable, and then you're like, well, no wonder why people hate you during this time.
You have no sympathy from me, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of this version of DX either, if I'm honest.
I was much more of a fan when when Shawn Michaels left the group because his back got broken. Not like Bane broke Batman's back, just because one of the herniated discs.
Yeah.
Triple H took over. It turned them faces, and then you had Triple H, China, X-Pac, and the New Age Outlaws.
Yeah.
Who somehow so as far as I know from DX was Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Then they had a 8-on-8 match, 4-on-4 tag match, which was New Age Outlaws, Triple H, and supposedly Shawn Michaels, but because he's back injured, they kind of nixed that and just had Savio Vega sub in.
Yeah.
Against Chainsaw Charlie and Cactus Jack, and I can't remember who the other two were.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah. Here's the problem though: the other two were probably some notable people I just completely forgot. I think one of them was Owen Hart, and Stone Cold Steve Austin, maybe.
I can't remember.
Yeah, Stone Cold was feuding with Shawn Michaels at that time. I mean, it might not be. But I just assumed it. Anyways, yeah. So that's as far as I know. I always assumed the Outlaws were part of DX because that's how when this match they were part of. But then when you look further back in the history, you're like, oh, they weren't really actually part of DX until this point.
Yeah, because I remember before DX sort of had a run-in with them. You know when the New Age Outlaws pushed Chainsaw Charlie and Nick Foley off the stage when I was in a bin, and DX came and was like, "What are you doing? You shouldn't be doing that." Blah 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 blah. Yeah. I was like, "Oh, this could lead to something." And then, I think 4 months later, the new DX came through. Yeah, which made sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I like this. The Triple H incarnation of Triple H, DX. Degeneration X, much better because they were less degenerate. And not say, oh, they're crowd pleasing, but it's just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, they're more jokesy and more.
Honestly, I don't want to say family friendly, right?
No, I don't want to say tamed either, but they were not trying to see how far they can go.
They were less pretentious. That's the best way to put it, right?
Yeah.
They're more themselves.
Yeah.
And I think X-Pac added a lot to his group somehow, for some reason. But later on, he just became X-Pac and everyone hated him.
Yeah, for no reason. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's go through the members at this time. What did you think of? Okay, what do you think of Shawn Michaels at this time?
I liked his wrestling. Didn't really care for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially DX Shawn Michaels, right?
Yeah, DX Shawn Michaels, yeah.
Well, because his antics were just so over the top that it's like I can't even laugh at the stuff you do because it's just so bad.
It's not even that. I was too young to understand any of that, so I was like, and because he was a bad guy, I was a kid. I was like, I'm not gonna like him because he's a bad guy. So
but that's one as well. It's like you hate the stuff he does on the screen. You hate, right? But you just be like, there's something else that I don't like about him as well.
Yeah,
because it's just so damn obnoxious.
Yeah.
Triple H. During this time period, actually, I thought was a real good face.
Yeah. Again, when he was in the first DX, didn't really like him again because of bad guys. And then when the new DX formed, and because he brought X-Pac in, and because X-Pac was my favorite wrestler at the time, I liked Shawn Michaels. I mean, I like Triple H. So, yeah, Triple H is cool again. Yeah. He was a good leader.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he had a series of matches against The Rock when it was the Nation versus DX feud.
Yeah,
I actually quite like that.
That was a good feud. Yeah.
I think it helped elevate both of them, actually, to be honest.
Yeah, it did.
And then they went. It wasn't a gang warfare sort of thing as well. It's just this group versus this group, kind of a little self-contained alternate universe.
Yeah. And like it's what I've always said. My personal favorite rivalry in wrestling. Yeah. Around this time anyway, was Triple H, The Rock, not The Rock and Stone Cold. They were okay, but
Triple H and Rock was better. Stone Cold had more credibility than The Rock during this time period because he'd beaten more people that were higher tier.
Yeah.
So Triple H and Rock seemed on the same level and vying for
the same spot, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of preferred their rivalry, even when they both were at that like main event stage. I preferred their rivalry as well. Yeah. That could have been cool if The Rock and Triple H's last match were against each other, but that's not gonna happen, is it?
No, but The Rock had more key moments against Austin because they were both the top dogs at the time period, and they just had to have it. They had to have the showdown, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, China.
Yeah.
When she didn't say much.
She was right. Yeah.
Yeah. Her presence there, not that she could do much or not, right? But her presence there added to the group.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
For no other reason, just she was a muscular woman.
Yeah, she was that. She was like Black Noir in The Boys.
Yeah, just like an impending threat, just always there.
Yeah. She was cool.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
But there's nothing much to. She added the group, but I think the mystique of her was better.
Yeah.
Than when she started talking.
Yeah.
But when she went solo, she had to talk. So kind of,
Yeah, she wasn't even that bad of a talker, really, to be fair.
Yeah.
At the end.
No, but I mean, as part of DX, she was better.
She didn't need to do anything. Yeah.
X-Pac, I was also a fan during this time. He seemed very able.
Yeah.
I mean, he could do a lot of stuff, like high-flying stuff and everything like that. Shame he never got any kind of title run during this time.
Yeah.
But he was added speed to a heavyweight group, kind of.
Yeah,
his matches were faster paced than
Yeah.
And when he busted out the Bronco Buster, I was like, all right.
Yeah, as a kid, I thought the move was awesome. Being a grown up,
it makes sense with the DX socket, right?
Yeah.
But then you're like, right? I'm not sure exactly what.
Yeah, this could lead to many troubles. Legal troubles. You shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah. But he was very enthusiastic, I'll tell you that, during his run.
Yeah. He loved it.
It's a shame he never got elevated to. I think he had a world title shot against The Rock or something.
Yeah, which was a pretty awesome match. Yeah, but he never won.
But he never got to. He never actually had a secondary title. No. I mean, I think a European title, but
European cruiserweight, light heavyweight, sorry, and cruiserweight, and tag titles really that he ever got, isn't it?
Yeah. But I think he fit in really well with this group. I think it's because of how he portrayed himself.
Yeah.
And when he cut his promos with passion as well,
Yeah.
So he was good in here.
He's a great guy.
The Outlaws, the Road Dogg Jesse James and Badass Billy Gunn.
Don't know. I'll be honest. I like them together. Apart, they kind of just meh.
Exactly. For some reason.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both capable, right? But the problem is they are so much better together. Yeah. I think it's because they can hide their weaknesses, so to speak. Because Road Dogg could cut promos and stuff like that. And Billy Gunn is capable, but he's just not as good as Road Dogg in that.
Yeah.
But then he's the guy who gets all the hot tags and stuff like that. He's the guy that's built big that could do athletic stuff.
Yeah. Super jacked. Yeah.
But he doesn't need to do like in a tag match. They can cover each other's tracks much better.
Yeah.
But for some reason they just never. I thought actually Road Dogg was better as a singles athlete than Billy Gunn, but that's because maybe he got more of a push than Billy Gunn.
No, Billy Gunn. They tried to push Billy Gunn so many times, but it's like
no, as a singles. Oh, right,
the singles,
okay.
yeah.
No, I think a more consistent push. No, not even that, right?
No, I still say Billy Gunn had more consistent push because
king. Maybe because they tried so hard with Billy Gunn, and we as the crowd could just see through it. That that even the Road Dogg who got less of a push was a better talent. Well, I think here's the thing: he could cut a promo that could generate heat or generate sympathy or whatever you want to do at the face, passion, whatever. Yeah. Billy Gunn didn't have that as his crutch.
No, not at all.
But Billy Gunn's gimmick so when he's badass Billy Gunn, fair enough, yeah? Right. But when he transitioned to Mr. Ass, I'm like,
I love Mr. Ass, you're the best. You had the best theme song ever.
I'm like, what is your gimmick, right? Okay, fair enough if you're badass, right?
Yeah.
But Mr. Ass? That's your gimmick?
Yeah, because apparently he had a nice ass, and that's why he was called Mr. Ass, I think.
Right. But I remember Vince was talking about soon DX when DX turned heel at this point, right? And this was this version of DX turning heel. And then he's like, you will all go to jail. And then he was like, and with a name like Mr. Ass, I'd be really afraid to go to jail.
Oh, because he's the best man. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I don't get Mr. Ass Billy Gunn.
I don't think you meant to.
And how he had to kiss my ass match with The Rock.
Yeah, the thing that sort of killed his career.
Yeah. But it's just like I just don't get this. I don't get the whole Mr. Ass thing at all.
Nah.
Because when he was Billy Gunn, he wore this loose fit. So when he was the smoking guns, he'd wear ties, the jeans, right?
Yeah.
Chuck Norris action jeans, baby. Okay.
Yeah.
And then when he was badass Billy Gunn, he'd wear kind of the tracksuit joggers thing. And then when he became Mr. Ass, he'd wear those. I don't want to say the Okada biker shorts, right? The really lycra type versions.
Yeah.
Shiny. No, I don't know. And then you're like, right. And then he shakes his booty. I'm like, rightio. I'm not 100% sure about this at all.
Yeah.
As a gimmick.
Yeah.
You know, if he was a female and he was doing that, like Stacy Kubler, all right. But you're a dude in a company that's catered towards. I mean, guys are watching it most of the time, so I'm not exactly sure exactly what you how you're going to get yourself completely over with that.
Yeah, and obviously he didn't.
Yeah. I don't know what they were gunning for at all.
They don't know either.
But when he was part of the X, he worked.
Yeah, when he's part of the X, it'll work. But after that, I was like, what do you exactly do? But then he kind of found his foot in later on. So.
Yeah. All right, you need to go. Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, I'll just note down. See, here, Billy Gunn, right? Another thing about him. Okay, so you know when you go to the gym.
Yeah.
And you work out, right? For example.
Yeah.
And you look good. Okay, so you work out in the gym, you look good, and you work out because you think, okay, the ladies are going to be like, oh yeah,
he works out. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he looks good. Right? You actually find you get more compliments from guys than ladies, right? And it's not because say guys are attracted to or nothing like that. Or some guys might be if they're gay, but like whatever, right? But the point is to say they know how hard it takes to work to have a athletically built body because they're doing it as well, right?
Yeah.
So if Billy Gunn's gimmick was, because he does have he is stacked, right?
Yeah.
And if it's like, oh yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm built really good, yeah.
Yeah.
Fine, okay. Be like Rude, for example, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying he should have done that gimmick because there's a lot of people who do that gimmick. I'm saying you're gonna say the best built part of my body is my ass.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
Like, I get it, but it's a weird gimmick to.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's
But
very.
then, if he's proud of it, then yeah, I guess.
Yeah. But then
It's one of those things.
How far can you go, and how weird is it? I mean, it's funny. I think it does kind of suit the time of the. Look, to say, okay, you know what, my glutes are fantastic, yeah, and you guys, no man alive or woman, my glutes are better than some women's or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to go completely over the top, you can, right?
Yeah.
And it will make for fantastic entertainment, right? Because it's just like so pompous.
Yeah.
But you cannot take it seriously.
Yeah, that gimmick was kind of designed, like you said before, like it's a ceiling to it, innit? How far could you go with that?
Yeah.
Bless him.
So that's a very. I was like, yeah. All right, you're in this group of 5, if including China.
Yeah.
We probably should, because she actually competes for house. You're in the lower rungs. Well, you're capped at a certain point, and I'll keep you in the lower rungs.
Yeah, but to be fair, like to all of them in DX really, except for Triple H, all their gimmicks put them sort of stuck in like
certain places.
Yeah. Sadly.
Yeah.
Because like think about it, like could you ever picture a world champion being called the Road Dog? Yeah.
Well, okay. It's true.
Yeah.
And well, yeah.
Because like realistically, Billy Gunn, if he dropped the Mr. Arse spot or the badass bit and just was Billy Gunn, he probably could. There's not like he hasn't been capped to a ceiling. You know what I mean? But when you got names like X-Pac, I love X-Pac, but yeah, the Road Dog, yeah, it's like wait, you're stuck here. You can't go any harder than that. Triple H was smart by shortening his name to Triple H.
Yeah. Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. The attitude though does carry it, and it did hold himself in a certain way that you're like, all right. But I think it helped also. He competed against certain people also rising through the ranks similar to him at the same time.
Yeah.
So then they all looked like they're about the relative to each other.
Yeah. Rather than the other guys, poor guys.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to talk about the one man who is in fact 3 different people. You can guess who this guy is, right?
Yeah, of course I can. Mick Foley.
Yes. And his one gimmick was that it ended up gimmick being later on was that he was Mick Foley.
yeah, it was, isn't it? After Mankind and all that kind of just disappeared. Yeah.
So in the Attitude Era, I would say Cactus Jack is probably the best fit of these 3 personas. Except that he was I want to say WCW. He was a creation before Vince touched it.
Yeah.
I can't have this guy be his most famous persona because I didn't create it. Yeah.
I don't think then they were bothered about that, to be honest.
Well. Did you hear about how Vince so RVD asked Vince about why the crowds are still chanting ECW?
Yeah.
After all this time, because they support ECW, right?
Yeah.
And Vince is like, no, because I made them chant it. And RVD's like,
okay.
Yeah. It's like, the man's denial is so strong that he pretends to take credit for something else which has nothing to do with him.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So, and also he's extremely petty as well.
Yeah, he wasn't extremely petty.
Yeah. But I will say the best fit of these personas at this time, for this period of time, was Cactus Jack, except that he obviously disappeared for bits.
Me personally, I'll say it's Mankind.
Well, okay, so I'd say Cactus Jack is the most crazy of them, right?
No, I'll say why Cactus Jack really isn't, like, because he was before the Attitude Era. If you're going back to, like, not just in, like, WWF or whatever, he was wrestling Captain Jet from, like, the late 80s to the mid-90s, so he predates it. So I wouldn't really class his gimmick as Attitude Era.
Well, but he was there during the time when he was with Terry Funk, a.k.a. Chainsaw Charlie.
Yeah, but still, like, wouldn't really class. But he was only like.
Oh, you know what? Okay, you know,
for a bit.
I will say this. I will say this. Not to interrupt you because
Yeah,
I think I see where you're going with this. But same thing with Vader. Cactus Jack's background was used to get other people over.
Yeah.
But he should have been used for himself. Maybe.
Yeah.
But you were gonna say about Mankind.
Yeah, because like Mankind for me sort of is Attitude Era because like even though it slightly predates it, but then his character kind of evolved during it. So I'll say he's more of a Attitude. Even Dude Love.
Original Mankind who came to fight the Undertaker.
Yeah.
Not him. Right?
No.
Mankind with the corporate shirt.
Yeah, just before like. I would say Mankind during when Kane joined him and Paul Bearer.
Yeah.
And Vader. Yeah, I'll say that Mankind is more.
Yeah. The Mankind that he became after Dude Love got trashed.
Yeah.
I never got Dude Love, but I never got Dude Love at the time. Okay.
Yeah.
But I get it now because he sticks out like a sore thumb and he's meant to. He was meant to be like the fun persona of Cactus Jack. Mick Foley.
Mick Foley, yeah.
Everything that Mick Foley couldn't be, Dude Love can.
Yeah.
It's like the Hulk's personas. You got a Savage Hulk, you got a Professor Hulk, which Dude Love is, right?
Yeah.
Would you say what Cactus Jack is Savage Hulk? And Mankind is Grey Hulk?
Yeah. I would say that. That makes sense.
Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe Cactus Jack is Grey Hulk and Mankind Savage Hulk. Depending on, I guess it depends on which version of Mankind because, like the one that versus the Undertaker, he's probably more Savage Hulk, right?
Yeah, he's more Savage Hulk.
But then when he tamed himself down a little bit, Cactus Jack became the more unhinged version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Okay. But you're saying, okay. So to be fair, yes. You're right. Corporate Mankind. Well, yes, there's different types of Mankind. I think Corporate Mankind fits in what you're saying, yeah, because he's got the sympathy from the people.
Yeah. But you still got in that case.
Yeah. But yeah, I think also Cactus Jack fits in there because he's kind of more crazy. Dumpster matches and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
The bits that the more savage stuff that Corporate Mankind couldn't do, Cactus Jack could do. And I have to say, Triple H's amazing facial selling of when Cactus Jack returned.
Yeah.
So Mick Foley's like, taking off his Mankind mask is like, I can't fight you because I'm more beat up. So yes, Mankind is savage. He hadn't got the cojones. He hadn't got the what's it called?
The testicular fortitude
to fight the game.
Yeah.
But I know a man who can. He starts taking off his finger. He's got a Cactus Jack t-shirt underneath, and Triple H Triple H is like stun locked.
He's like,
oh no, it can't be him, no.
Yeah, which led to one of the funnest matches ever.
Yeah. All right. What about? Well, okay. So we're saying they. But I do think, actually, funny enough, Dude Love. Did you watch the Rumble where all three of them entered?
Yeah. Wasn't that? I'm trying to remember which Rumble it is now.
Was it 98?
It might have been.
That was quite funny though. And there was an interview segment that had all three of them as well.
Yeah, and it was like proper green screened, sort of. You could tell it was like so budget. It's like, oh wow, they're overlapping and stuff. That's odd.
I'm gonna watch that again,
man. Yeah, it was a good time.
But good on Mick Foley, and good that it basically allowed him to play three gimmicks simultaneously, but not care. Because sometimes like Karma, Mustafa, the Godfather, and Puppet Shango, they never overlap, and they never would.
No, well, technically, Karma Mustafa is the Godfather because they led into the same sort of gimmick. You know what I mean? Like. The Karma Mustafa, when he joined the Nation, kind of led into the Godfather, so it's same character. But yeah, I mean, like Papa Shango, pretend, that's a completely different human. Like, no, it's not.
Exactly.
All right, sure.
Completely different human.
Right.
Okay,
no,
so someone that does really fit this time period, but doesn't also. Well, it does because actually it was always about stuff being in your face as much as in your face possible, right? But he wasn't actually in the era proper. Was Goldust.
Yes, and yeah.
Because I think he was 1996-ish feuding with Razor Ramon.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I would go as far to say that his character was the start of the Attitude Era. Because that's when he started being more edgy.
But that's the thing. He I think the Goldust first run kind of ended just before the Attitude Era started. And he was the thingamajig, the artist formerly known as Goldust, right?
Yeah, but that was a bit later on.
Yeah, that's around 98. That's around 98.
Yeah.
I think what caused him to come back as Goldust is when Val Venus had an affair with Marlena, and then Dustin Runnels had his final breakdown, and he returned as Goldust.
Yeah.
But then I don't think he went as out there as Goldust, right? But like obviously during this time period, a lot of things are massively out there.
No.
Because they're just trying to draw, Vince Russo writing, of course, but they're just trying to draw as much attention as possible with some stuff, and you're like, maybe you shouldn't.
Yeah, because like as much as I like Goldust and early Goldust, some of that stuff was a bit like that's not gonna age well in like 5 to 10 years. And looking at it now, a lot of it doesn't.
Yes. But I think I think out there Goldust, the most offensive Goldust, does fit this time period.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
It's just a shame that he was partially not in it.
Yeah. That's when he kept jumping back and forth in it, really, from WCW to WWF.
No. I think it was because they changed. I think they got so many complaints about Goldust that they changed. They tried to tweak the character to the artist formerly known as Goldust, and that's Dustin Runnels just running through different types of gimmicks with different types of managers or whatever.
No, actually, no. Think back now. The artist formerly known as Goldust is actually a lot more edgier than Goldust because it was.
Go on. I missed most of the artists formerly known as Goldust
because he was wearing like weird thongs and ball gags and stuff like. Yeah, it was a lot more out there than Goldust.
But not as Goldust is Goldust, right?
Yeah. But
I don't think it was. I don't think the artist formerly known as Goldust was as refined enough of a character. Maybe.
Not really, yeah, because it didn't stick around for long because it was like this is just too out there.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
the first I saw was like he was wearing a black shirt, I think, with red trousers, and Luna Vachon was leading him out in the collar.
Yeah, it was weird.
I didn't know what was going on there.
Yeah, at least with like Goldust, you knew what he was about.
Yes.
Obviously, formerly Goldust was like, this is just trying to be controversial. Because like even one bit he came out with like inflatable boobs and stuff like that. It's weird.
Oh really?
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, sure. And he went back to Goldust, which was a lot better because Goldust is one of the best wrestling characters.
Well, okay. Which version of Goldust? Because the more modern Goldust is less. It's more of a comedy character, whereas this was like a sinister heel, if you know what I mean.
Because now he does sinister. He was just like creepy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because here he's trying to quote unquote play mind games with the male wrestlers, right?
Yeah.
But more modern Goldust in the 2000s was became more of an over the top comedy character. Because what he does was so
weird, like getting into a head bit with men. Like
yeah. This was different though because he knew he was in on the joke at this point. You know, he portrayed enough to the audience that I know I'm in on the joke. Whereas I think before he had to play it straight. Quote, no pun intended, of course.
Yeah. It was weird, but it's still great. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm trying to think.
I think he's much better as an underdog Goldust.
Yeah, later Goldust, like mid 2000s to when he disappeared.
Because he could transition well.
Yeah.
When she stuck with the Goldust gimmick, ambiguous Goldust gimmick.
Yeah, it was a bit.
How do you get people to cheer for you?
Yeah, exactly. How do you? Yeah. Tricky one.
Yes, indeed.
He's great.
Rock, we are less than a week away from one of the biggest challenges of your career, competing for the WWE title in a match you've never competed in before. A Hell in a Cell match where you and 5 other men
Finally, The Rock has come back to New Jersey. Just as sure as for the very first time, Kevin Kelly, The Rock, stood right in this arena and called you an ugly hermaphrodite, is as sure as this Sunday night at Armageddon, The Rock will be in Hell in a Cell. This is going to be the most brutal match The Rock has ever been in. The dangerousest match The Rock has ever been in. The Hell in a Cell. And it doesn't matter, Kevin Kelly, what you call it. Whether it's called a Hell in a Cell, a Rage in a Cage, Penis in Uranus, the only thing that matters is that The Rock is going in this Sunday night to do exactly what he does best, lay it to smack it down and get back The Rock's WWE title. And the fact of the matter is this, is that The Rock knows this Sunday night he has his work cut out for him. The Rock knows he's got 5 other guys he's got to compete with. And even if The Rock has got to beat Kurt Angle, which means I'm gonna drink a big glass of milk, eat some chocolate chip cookies, and then maybe I'll take 3 Viagra. Or maybe The Rock is gonna face Rikishi, beat Rikishi. I did it for The Rock. I did it for the people. I did it. Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty. Or maybe even The Rock has got to beat The Undertaker, the American badass, beat him so bad that one more time he'll raise up. Rest in peace. Or maybe The Rock has got to beat Triple H himself, which means he's got to beat the game in the middle of the ring. And he has a $2 for a wife. Or maybe The Rock has got to beat Stone Cold Steve Austin, which means I gotta get in my pickup truck, drink some Steve Weisers, listen to some Backstreet Boys. And that's the bottom line, 'cause the great one said so. And one more thing, this Sunday night at Armageddon, The Rock is gonna do all he can to win the WWE title. If you smell what The Rock is cooking.